Right, I have a fascinating one for you to have a look at. I'm joined by Dan from PSC Games. Now wait, Dan, you're going to get to say hello in a minute. But wait, have a look at this. Oh my God. It is absolutely beautiful. I love it. It's like the sexiest version of Risk I've ever seen. But it's not Risk. We're about to find out what it is. It's called Britannia. Dan, what can you tell us about it, man?
Okay, Britannia is 2 games in one box. There's Classic Britannia, which you can see over here on the right. That's a game which originally came out in 1986 by a guy called Lou Pulsifer. It covers the history of Britain from the coming of the Romans through to the conquest by the Normans. Packaged in the same box, effectively on the flip side of the board, we've got a faster playing 2-player game called Dual Britannia. So Britannia, the classic version, works best with 4 players. It can be played with 3, but it takes 3 to 4 hours to play. It's that classic 1980s game. We knew that not everyone has that time to spare these days. We also quite like 2-player games, so we've worked with Lou to create a 2-player version of it, which plays in about an hour and a half or so. It covers broadly the same period of history and has similar rules, but there are enough differences so that you feel like you're playing a slightly different game. We're going to be producing it with lovely little plastic pieces. In the past, it's always been produced with counters, as you'd expect. These are just some little prototypes we've got now, but we've had great fun designing what we want our Romans to look like, what we want our Normans to look like. It's toy soldiers. We love doing that kind of thing.
You're preaching to the converted, man.
So in the game, each player takes a different colour, and each colour has several nations that it controls. They come and go through the game. So, for example, the yellows on the board at the moment have the Romans at the start of the game, which are a very, very powerful nation to run. They disappear from the game in about turn 5, so the yellow player then gets other nations to play through the rest of the game. In a similar way, the blue player has the Normans, who only come in at the very end of the game, but they've had other tribes that they're playing earlier in the game as well. It's kind of historically based, so for each of the different tribes in the game, you get victory points based on the areas you control. So, for example, if you're controlling the Picts, who are based up in Scotland, they'll really score points for controlling areas of Scotland. If they were to invade south into England, it wouldn't really do them much good. You can have fun fighting and rolling dice, but it's not going to get you points. So there's an element of having to look at what the historical nation did, trying to emulate them, kind of trying to do better as well.
So how are people going to get this?
Okay, we're going to be Kickstartering this game in July 2019. From there, it's going to probably come out in early 2020, we think at the moment. But yeah, the Kickstarter is in July.
Fantastic. Dan, thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Right, Britannia. And is it going to be this size?
Yes, that is the size of the board.
Oh, God, I'm going to die. Go. It's beautiful.
And the miniatures will be that size. If we can make them bigger, we will, but we need to make sure they all fit on the board as well. We'll make them as big as we can.
Okay, guys, that's Britannia. Roll on, July.